hands together, y'all. Barry D, Tommy T. We gonna have a good time tonight. Let's go, let's go. It's Old Men in Sweat.
Alrighty, Old Men in Sweats. I'm Barry D, and this is my buddy Tommy T, and this is our program brought to you by the BLEAV Network. We're gonna talk a lot of different sports. We're gonna obviously focus on NCAA Final Four. It's March Madness Final Four in Houston, Texas. But to start, Tommy, I gotta let you know something that happened to me. I gotta do a senior health check with you. Health-wise, I'm fine. I'm fine. I take a cholesterol pill, I take my allergy pill, I'm good, right? I could lose a couple pounds, but I'm fine, But the other day, my tooth started to hurt me. My front tooth, I have a crown. Yeah. And I've had the crown for 45 years.
Wow.
Like
on just one tooth?
One tooth.
Okay.
Dr. Brognano from Rome, New York, who went to SUNY Buffalo or Buffalo University, a great dentist. So what happened was my family's had trouble with their front teeth. It's really interesting. My brother Terry was ice skating as a kid with my brother Larry and Terry. And people are like, what's he talking about? Well, all the names in my family rhyme. I have a brother Gary, a brother Terry, a brother Larry. I have myself and my sister Mary. And they all rhyme. It was crazy.
And you're Barry.
And I'm Barry, yeah.
You're Barry. You're not Lou Barry. You're not Lou Alcindor. You're Barry.
I'm Barry. Yeah, I'm not Lou Alcindor. I'd love to be Lou Alcindor. I put that up in his honor as the best college basketball player of all time. But
wow.
But
I think it's Christian Leitner. But okay. Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna take Lou. But the thing about our teeth, my family. So my brother Terry was ice skating with my two brothers, my older brothers. And they played a joke on him, and they pushed his winter hat over his eyes, and he fell down and he broke his front tooth. then my sister Mary was at a playground.
Wait a second, what brother is that? Terry?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would always pick on my brother Terry, brother Larry and Gary.
Then Terry got up and became an 8th degree black belt in Taekwondo and broke everyone's head open.
It broke everybody's head open. Yeah. So then my sister Mary was playing at an elementary school playground, and she fell and hit her mouth on some metal part of a swing. Now, a lot of younger kids don't understand when we were growing up, the things that we played with were dangerous, really dangerous. Playgrounds were dangerous. Everything was dangerous. Remember when we played Little League Baseball, the fence, the home run fence, the fence in the outfield had the fence sticking up.
Yeah. And
you go try to catch the ball and you cut your arm
all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And now they have that nice thing, that rubber thing that covers it.
Of course. Yeah.
So back in the day, we survived a lot of things. So my sister just, there's no way this playground equipment would be there now in any playground. It'd be a lawsuit. So she chipped hers too. So then I'm in a car with my mother, a station wagon, with, in the inside of the station wagon, it's metal, right? The back of the station wagon and some of the sides. And my mother was at Westgate Shopping Center. Remember that shopping center? And we came out of McDonald's. And she was getting really upset. And she was swearing. And she was getting really mad because she couldn't get out of that on the Erie Boulevard. It was busy. She was all mad. She was mad. I was in the back seat. And I was just sitting there eating. All of a sudden, she guns it. And she turns and she guns it. And I flew into the back. I don't know if I ever told you the story. Into the back of the bed, the station wagon bed, and hit my face against the back of the inside tailgate. And I went down. I was bleeding and everything. So that's how I broke mine. And then I went to Dr. Brognano. And when they put a crown on, they saw the tooth down. So that you get rid of a lot of the tooth, and then they put a post. But there's a problem with that because you can get bacteria in there, and also you compromise the tooth even more that it's been injured because you take enamel off of it, right?
Sure.
So I'm lucky I've had this long. So the other day it was hurting me, and I'm like, fuck this fucking thing. So now I went to one dentist and went to another. I guess I'm going to have them take it off. They said they can't reuse it. They can't put another one on. They got to pull the tooth. They got to pull the tooth, and then I got to do a bridge.
So that encompasses more than one tooth, or the bridge is
this is the tricky thing. My brother Terry, who had the problem because my brothers picked on him, and his tooth problem, his already went because he's older than me. Yeah. He said they told him to do a bridge, and he did the bridge. But what they do is they have to saw down the two surrounding teeth to put the bridge on. And he goes, "Don't do that." I go, "What do you mean?" And he goes, "Guess what?" He goes, "My other two teeth, because they were sawed down and the enamel was taken off and they're compromised." He goes, "I lost those now." He goes, "I started with one bad tooth missing, and then I got three." He goes, "Now I got three." He goes, "Don't do that. Don't do that." Yeah. So he told me about this other thing you can do. It's called a Maryland bridge. And somehow they just go behind the two teeth surrounding the missing tooth and prep it a little bit, that then they put, it sticks onto the back, like somehow there's like a metal little thing and it sticks on and it goes in, but you don't compromise the other two teeth really. You don't saw them down. You don't do any of that. So I guess they don't, some dentists love doing it. Some don't, because it's cheaper than the other regular bridge.
You got a dentist to do that?
I got to find one now, because the first one I went to, he didn't want to do it. And my brother now told me, "Don't do that other one." He goes, "You're going to lose those other two teeth then. Within 5 years, they'll just go." He goes, "It will go." And he goes, "So, he goes, try to get a dentist that will do that Maryland thing. You got to do the Maryland bridge." And obviously it's named Maryland Bridge because it was invented. Some dentist in Maryland invented it. So that was my senior health check. It was like the last week and a half, I've been in dental offices and x-rays and all this. I mean, it's not serious. It's not serious. It's a tooth.
No, but you don't understand when you do a health check or a mental or a senior health check, you don't think of your teeth, but your teeth are like some of the most important, part of your health. Your teeth start with your diet, allowing you to have a good diet, be able to eat everything. And you don't think about that. And the other thing is, there's nothing worse than having pain in your mouth. Yeah. I can't imagine. I mean, I've been very fortunate, at our advanced age now, I've been very fortunate to have minimal to no pain in my mouth or no problems with my teeth my whole life. And I used to, my dentist was Dr. Hauser back in Rome, New York.
He was good. He was great.
I mean, he was ancient when I was going to him as a kid. I got all these fillings, and he was one of those University of Buffalo graduates, also that famous dentist school, that dental school back there. And I just had two cavities replaced. I had two fillings replaced. Right, he popped out two fillings and drilled in there and cleaned it out and put two fillings in there. But like I said, very fortunate with no pain in your mouth, because as soon as you have pain in your mouth, you know something's wrong. Immediately, it's not like a pulled muscle. No. Right? It's not like, my hip hurts. Geez, I think I don't know, I hurt my hip working out or whatever, playing golf or whatever. The muscle strain gets better or goes away. When you get pain in your teeth, it's not going away. So now you're down the dentist road. And
let's face it, no one likes going to the dentist too, let alone the doctor. But the dentist, I think people don't like even more than the doctor. But I want to tell you a story about fillings. Last story, and then we'll move on, because this is funny. My brother Gary and I, when we all moved to California, right? And we were out there, and Gary was in Orange County. I was in LA County with you. And I went to a dentist for the first time. And I went in there, and he goes, "Wow." He goes, "You have a lot of fillings. You probably got them when you were a kid because you weren't brushing properly. You weren't doing stuff." I go, "You're right." He goes, "I'm going to tell you something." He goes, "So let me figure out how old these are." And he goes, "Oh my God." He goes, "I'm going to tell you something." He goes, "The fillings you have, they're all silver, right? Yeah. On the top of it." He goes, "I'm going to tell you." He goes, "These are some of the best fillings I've ever seen in my life." He goes, "I don't know who your dentist was." So then I started talking to him about my dentist. He goes, I'm not kidding you." He goes, "I'm not just saying this. I see teeth all the time." He goes, "These fillings are incredible for the time they've been in your mouth." That story. Yeah, same with me. I've had fillings since I was a kid. Yeah. And the other thing with fillings is they have to be airtight. Nothing can get in there. So my brother, we're lucky. So my brother Gary, I went to see him one weekend, and I was telling him the story about I went to this new dentist and what he said, because we all obviously went to we went to Dr. Brognano, you went to Hauser, and my brother started laughing. It's hysterically. I go, "What are you laughing about?" I'm just telling, I went to the dentist, and telling you a good story about Brognano. And he goes, "Because," He goes, when I first found my dentist, when I moved here in Orange County, the dentist said the same thing to me.
Yeah.
He goes, the guy was amazed by the quality of the work. So good thing is we had, you know, good dentist, and I'll get through all this. But like you said, it's like, there's a lot to it. And you know, and
it's important. It's like your healthcare is important. I remember, you know, I watched The West Wing, one of my all-time favorite
great
series,
show.
right? You know, written by Aaron Sorkin, and Rob Lowe had a line in there when, you know, when CJ, you know, the press secretary had she had a problem with her teeth and she had to go to the dentist. She goes, I'll just cancel the appointment. And Rob Lowe, he said, it's Sam Seaborn. He said, no. He said, I'm a big proponent of good health, good teeth health, good health, good oral health. He said, no. He goes, I'm obsessed with it. You know, like he said, take care of your teeth. They're your best friend.
Well, yeah, because, you know, like the other thing is this, not to throw another one of our ex-friends under the bus again, like I did last show, but again, we don't want to end up with Manny Tavares halitosis. You know, that fucking guy, man, he was like, forget it. I mean, he couldn't play any sports. And then he, you know, and he would keep you away, like the distance with that halitosis. I don't know what was going on, like what he was doing or not doing, but we don't want to be that, like, you know, right? He was.
No, listen. Okay, so Manny's gonna kill us, buddy. He's gonna kill us.
Yeah, but it was, you know, but he should have spent more time. He should have spent more time playing sports, practicing like we did, all hours of the day and night. And he should have spent more time in the bathroom brushing those teeth.
Yep.
And that tongue. You got to get the tongue. All right, wait a minute.
Tomorrow, the first game.
All right, so wait a minute. We're gonna focus. You're gonna analyze the two games tomorrow, the Final Four. The first game's like 6:35. I think that's FAU, the Owls, right? Against San Diego State Aztecs. Okay, go ahead. Tell me what you got.
So the Aztecs, I watched the Aztecs beat Creighton in the Elite Eight game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that may have been the worst college basketball game I've ever seen. That was such a horribly played college game. I mean, it was terrible. Let's face it, it was a terrible game. They just, San Diego State can't score. They score 50 points a game, so they can't score. And Creighton, I don't know. I mean, you know, Creighton's from Omaha, you know, and they got that coach that we talked about. We talked about the Creighton coach who last year he told the kids to stay on the plantation. So I'm not a big fan of that guy. You know, not a big fan of the guy saying that. But so here's the thing. San Diego State has like 7 or 8 seniors. These guys are all like 23, 24. Someone said the San Diego State Aztecs are older than the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, so they're older.
Yeah, I heard that. Aren't they like 24?
Yeah, they're an old team. Their average age is 4. Yeah, their average age is 24 years old.
Yeah,
so they're a mature, older team, right? And so, you know, they play sound defense. They're good rebounders. You know, they're going to get killed by FAU. Sorry, FAU. They're from I think it's from Boca Raton, right?
Boca Raton. Boca Raton.
They're on the Atlantic coast, South Florida. They got these guys. Every single guy can shoot. It doesn't make any difference how good San Diego State's defense is. They're going to shoot over the top. Like I'm telling you, they're going to kill this this San Diego State team. I was so unimpressed with them. They're 31-6. They just beat the hell out of everybody. You know, like they got these big guys and they, you know, and they're not like big like 6'10", 6'11", but they're like 6'7", 6'6". They're big, bulky guys. So I think that FAU, Florida Atlantic, is 35-3, right? They're gonna beat this team by 15, 20 points easy. That's gonna be the best pick of the day.
Well, let me ask you something. You weren't impressed with the San Diego State Creighton game, and either was I. It was a ridiculous game.
Awful game.
And I like San Diego State's coach. Like I saw when they cut down the nets because, you know, they won the region. He actually, you see him, he fell backwards and his players caught him off the ladder. It was a setup, but that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
But I agree with you too. It's like, yeah, they're older, they're more mature. They play D. They play tough D. Let's face it, they're good. They're in the Final Four. But the one thing that I think is gonna be tough for them, And I think it's going to bother them. It's the over. They're going to shoot over them, definitely, FAU. They could shoot better. They could play D, FAU. But the big Russian bear on FAU, how do you say it? Vladislav Golden.
Yeah, he's got an American last name with a Russian first name.
How do you say that? Vladislav?
Yeah. They call him Slava for short, or Vlad for short.
Yeah.
Good. I like him. He's pretty good, but he's not gonna stop those San Diego State guys.
No, but I think he'll disrupt it a little, because that last game I watched him play, he was tough. I like him. He's got an attitude. He's a tough, like, Russian bear, and I think that's going to be good. He won't be the difference, but I agree with you. I think San Diego State finally is going to meet their match as far as an offensive team that can score against them and also stop their terrible anemic offense that they have. FAU can play D too.
Yeah, FAU is the best team. They're one of the best teams in the country. I've been watching them. The other thing is Creighton was 24-13 at the end of the year. Creighton's no good.
No,
they're not any good. I mean, San Diego State was lucky to win that game. Creighton was leading the whole game. I turned it off. Barry.
Well, wait a minute. Did Creighton make it because they won the Big East?
Yeah. They were a 5 seed. I don't know if they won the Big East or not, but UConn was in the Big East. I thought UConn won the Big East.
Yeah, you're right. I got to look that up though, because I want to know that. So you're not impressed. All tournament, when we've been doing the shows, you were impressed with San Diego State's defense, and you knew they would beat certain teams. You were like, they're going to beat them. They got D. But now you're right. Yeah. They're going to meet their match here with this team.
Yeah, and like I told you, like, we're watching an Elite 8 game between San Diego State and Creighton, and it's a terrible basketball game. Like, there's no way around it. Like, everyone talks about how great March Madness is. You never know what's going to happen. Well, you knew what was going to happen with those two teams. You knew that they were only going to score 50 points, and they were going to lay bricks the whole game. I mean, it was an awful game. I don't know. I get confused sometimes as to what they celebrate with this March Madness. I don't get it. I mean, I guess having FAU in the Final Four is exciting. And having San Diego State, first time ever in the Final Four, is exciting for that part of the country. But they're not any good. San Diego State's not any good. They're not going to win. Get out of here with that. And then the other thing is the next game, Miami against UConn, those are the two teams. Did you see that Miami game? Miami was awesome in that game to come back and win that game, man. Those are the teams. I'm telling you right now. That Miami impressed me. That one guy, Jordan Miller from Miami, oh, my God. Barry, that guy was 13 for 13 from the foul line. I mean, are you kidding me? 13 for 13. So
the second game after the San Diego State FAU game, you're talking about Miami and UConn, but you haven't mentioned UConn. I know we just started, but you're not mentioning UConn.
I'm saving them for last because they're the best team in the country. But Miami beat Texas, and Texas is a good team. That was a good game. Texas was missing their best player, Disu, the center. He was out. Mm-hmm. But Miami was down that whole game. And I'm telling you, that guy Jordan Miller, who ironically is a transfer from George Mason University, which is where the coach, Jim Larinaga, took the George Mason team almost 20 years ago to the Final Four.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That guy Jim Larinaga, the coach from Miami, he looks like Jim Boeheim's younger brother.
Oh my God, he really doesn't he?
He looks like Jim Boeheim's like 80. This guy's like 72. He looks.
Well, you know what's funny too? I was watching a show the other day. I can't remember which it was. One of those PTI. It was PTI, and they asked him like, "Well, how long are you gonna stay down there? And how long are you gonna coach?" He goes, "Look," he goes, "I came down here. I didn't come down here like because I guess who was it? One of the PTI guys made fun of him. I can't remember which one is Tony. Tony made fun of him, said he was only going down there to retire when he took the job. He was just going down there for early retirement. So the guy was on there, the coach, he goes, "I didn't come down here for early retirement. I came down here to coach. I'm going to coach. I want everyone to know I'm here forever. I'm going to keep coaching. I'm going to coach forever." He goes, "That's what I'm going to do."
You saw him after the game. You saw the energy that he had with the young guys. Like, you could tell that he fits in down there. He's got energy. Like, he doesn't act like an old guy when you're talking to him.
No, I loved seeing that too, because we're older guys. And I know a lot of people, when you first younger guys, when they say, "Oh, he's old," they right off the bat think you're boring, you don't know shit and everything else. I love it that his players like react to him and he's having fun and they respect his knowledge. You respect him as a coach, as a person. And also though, he's just got energy. Like you just got to bring some energy. And, you know, like me and you, we bring energy. Well, and you can't deny the energy even though we're old.
You got to love what you're doing. Now, here's the thing that I loved about this game. So the free throw shooting, Miami was 28 out of 32 from the foul line. They shot 87.5% from the foul line against Texas, right? They were 29 for 49 from the field. They shot 59% from the field. They only took 8 3-pointers. I don't think they made 1 3-pointer the entire second half, and they came back and stole that game. See, that's the thing that people don't realize is Miami is a good shooting team, right? They made all their free throws. They made all their 2-point buckets. But you don't have to be a good 3-point shooting team to be considered a good shooting team, right? They were down by 8 at halftime. They ended up falling behind by 10 or 12 points early in the second half, and they stormed back, and they did it at the foul line. This Jordan Miller, he had 27 points. He was 7 for 7 from the field.
Guy's crazy.
13 for 13 from the foul line. Are you kidding? I mean, come on. That's great.
The guy's amazing. The guy's incredible. So you're saying these are the 2 best teams of the 4?
Yeah, UConn and Miami are 2 best teams. So as bad as that San Diego State Creighton game was, it was one of the worst games of the year.
Yep.
This Miami-Texas game was just the opposite. It was an excellent game. It was a well-played game. It was the kind of basketball you like to watch in March Madness, you know. So yeah, I was really happy for that. Miami really impressed me. They got Isaiah Wong, right?
Yeah, that guy's good.
That guy's really good. And then they got this Jordan Miller. And I think that Miami's going to give UConn a game. You know, they're going to give them a game, even though we're going to get the UConn. Miami's got the big center O.M.I. They got Poplar. They got Nigel Pack. So they're really a good team. They got the old coach. But now the next game is UConn, right? Now UConn beat the pants off of Gonzaga. They killed Gonzaga, which I said it. I called it. I was pissed that Gonzaga beat UCLA again with a lucky shot from the logo. They do this all the time.
Yeah.
And after they beat UCLA, I told everyone in the bar, they're going to lose by 25 next game. And they're like, you're crazy. They're going to go all the way. They're going to lose by 25. And that Drew Timme, he always proves me right. He can't handle big time, big level play. They had him guarding some guy named Walker or someone. They had him guarding a guy on UConn, right? Gonzaga had him guarding someone that can't shoot.
Oh
right?
yeah, it was
he was a facilitator, right?
Yeah, where is that guy?
Here, I got it.
Was it Newton?
No, I know who it was. UConn has a player. He's not a good shooter, but he's a great facilitator, right? And so they put Timme on him. It's Jackson, right? It's this guy Jackson. Jackson's not a shooter.
Oh, Andre Jackson Jr.?
Andre Jackson Jr., yeah. But he's a great player. So what they did was they didn't want Timme guarding Samogo, right? Samogo's their best player, right? So Samogo's the guy. He's the guy on UConn, Sanogo, that he's the big low post threat. They couldn't put Timme on him because they couldn't get Timme into foul trouble. So they had him covering this other guy. But what the announcer kept saying is Timmy's so passive on defense, they're abusing him. Like he was kind of playing it underneath the basket, and this Jackson kept cutting to the basket and getting layups. Sanogo kept bouncing the ball. Timme was useless on defense. He got 2 early fouls in the second half, and he can't play in these high level games. And he's supposedly one of the best players in the country, and he's not. He never shows up in these games.
No, they did. They basically took him down low. It was interesting. You're right. It was like Sanogo. He didn't guard the ball, and then that guy would cut. It was like 2-on-1. Boom, boom.
But he wasn't even guarding Sanogo.
No,
they wouldn't put him on Sanogo. He can't guard Sanogo. So they had him guarding someone who can't shoot, and the guy still abused him.
He looked so bad. He looked so uninterested. He looked like he could have been sick. Like he didn't look like his usual self. And then the rest of the team actually followed suit. It was weird.
But he did look like his usual self.
You think that's
how he plays?
Okay.
That's how he played against Baylor. That's how he always plays in these games. When he gets up to these high level games, he disappears.
He chokes.
I don't even know if he chokes. I just don't think he's good enough.
So did you notice?
Like he said, just like he always looks.
Did you notice, though, the team, it was really weird. They got behind. And I'm like, okay, well, they people get behind. They can make a run. It was weird how the whole team kind of turned off. It was like, because he wasn't making any shots and he wasn't doing anything, they almost kind of like, it was the weirdest thing. And before you know it, it didn't matter if you call a timeout to try to regroup, because they were crushing him. What's his face? That Jordan Hawkins. I hope the Lakers can try to get that guy somehow. That guy was killing them. Yeah. They were just crushing him. And so was the Italian guy, Joey. The Calcaterra guy. That guy was shooting too. Everyone was shooting. But Hawkins is really good. That guy was killing them. He was killing them.
Well, the guy from Gonzaga, Strother, he's the guy that made the winning three-pointer against UCLA from the logo, right?
Yeah.
He was 6 from 3. He was 4 for 15. Gonzaga's not any good. Like, they're 31 They finished the season 31-6, but they beat up on St. Mary's and Portland, and they got nobody. They play nobody all year long, and it always happens. They get in the tournament, and everyone says this is Gonzaga's year, and they always get killed. It was 28 points. It wasn't even a game.
In fact, the footage of the coach on the sideline, he was freaking out and he was going after refs, but you looked at his face and he was white as a ghost. He was in shock. He was like, "Oh my God, we're getting our ass beat."
But again, I don't know why he was in shock. It happens all the time. It's nothing new for them. Like, it's the same thing against Baylor 2 years ago. It happens all the time. They get in these games and they get blown out by 30. It's not even a game. That's true. It's the exact same thing. So I don't know what he's in shock about. Like, he actually thought, like, oh yeah, now we're gonna beat a high level.
Yeah, now we're gonna be hot. Yeah, out of here. They do stink. If you can't show up for a game like that, there's no reason you can't show up for a game like that. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
they don't show up. So Miami and Connecticut, the 8:50 game, which will probably go off at 9 something on CBS. That's the late game. That is the game of the day. Those are the two best teams. FAU San Diego State, the early game is 6 on CBS. Also, so let's just get right to the.
Okay. I don't know about the over/under, but take FAU in this game.
So Tommy T is going to take FAU plus 2.5, and he's going to lay off the over/under. Okay, next game for you. Let's go. We got to go into the next game, the final game. So Miami, Connecticut. Miami is a 5-point dog. Connecticut's favored by 5. It's a lot, man.
Yeah. Connecticut's a great team. I like Miami plus 5.
Okay.
Keep it close. The over/under is 150, which is high. That's high, right? That's 75 to 75. So 76 to 75, you got to go over. So for that game to go over, you need those teams to get in the 80s. And I don't know if those teams are going to get in the 80s in that game. I wouldn't be surprised if it stays in the 70s. But again, I'm not betting the over/under in either one of these games. I don't know who's going to win that Miami game. That game could go either way. I would say Connecticut's going to win a tight game probably, but I'm still taking I'm taking the dogs in both games and easily. I'd be very confident with both dogs.
That's a lot. Yeah, you got a lot of waivers to do that the whole day.
Yeah,
and I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to take the under in that game.
You like the under? Okay.
I'm going to take the under in the game. I think FAU is going to score, and it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be like that Connecticut-Gonzaga game. I think FAU is going to crush them, and it's not going to go over like the Connecticut-Gonzaga. They crushed them. You thought it was going to go over, and it didn't even go. It didn't go over.
No, so 136. It was 80.
Yeah, because San Diego State can't score anyway. Yeah, San Diego State can't score. They can't score anyway. So I'm going to go under on FAU San Diego State. I'm going to be with you on FAU plus 2.5. Then I'm going to go against you on Connecticut and Miami. I love Miami. And that 5 points looks really crazy. It's almost like they're teasing you. You better take that 5. And I know Connecticut is not playing the teams that they played prior, that they've been blowing out everybody. But that 5, it looks like a lot, but I think Connecticut could easily win this game in double digits, and still it could be a good game. So
you don't think it's going to be it's a South Florida final?
No, I think UConn's going to take it. I'm going to take UConn minus the 5, and I'm going to take the over in that game. Okay. Because I think if Miami wins that game, they're going to have to really score. And I don't know if they can. I think Connecticut's defense could be up to the challenge, and I think they could cover. So I'm going to take UConn minus the 5. I'm going to take the over 150. It's a ballsy. Like I've got a 4-pack. FAU plus 2.5, FAU under, UConn minus 5, UConn over, and you've got FAU plus 2.5 and Miami plus the 5. You're taking the 2 dogs, and you know to sprinkle some money line on like take a parlay with those two dogs, or take a parlay money line parlay just as some extra action, because you're actually taking the dogs to win it, and they could win it. Those two teams could win.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it very well could be a South Florida final.
And that's what you're going for.
And I think South Florida could take over Houston, Texas.
You know what's really strange about all this? It's actually a really good Final Four, regardless that there's no number ones. I mean, it's a really good. There's some great teams, and any final is going to be good.
I don't even think that there's a top 4 seed. I don't even know is there a top 4 seed in the final?
I think UConn is a 4, aren't they?
So I think that's it then, right?
Yeah. I think UConn's a 4. There's a 9.
Yeah, a 4. There's a 4, a 5, a 5, and a 9. I mean,
and
that's
a 9.
Incredible.
Yeah,
that's the highest seeds I've ever seen in a final.
Well, and it's crazy too, because these teams are so good. You wonder who's the 9 seed? Miami?
No, FAU's the 9 seed.
That's crazy. How did they?
Miami and San Diego State were 5 seeds, and then UConn was a 4 seed. So I mean, so you're talking about you don't even have a top 15 team in this final 4, right?
And we could
seed, you're going to be ranked around 16.
And we could talk all day about the transfer portal, because the transfer portal or whatever. But the funny thing is, UConn could have been one of the number 1 seeds. They could have. They're just as good.
They're a great team.
They're a great team.
It's funny. Their coach is Danny Hurley, not Bobby Hurley. Bobby Hurley, he played for Duke, and he won national championships for Duke, right?
Yep.
And he won 2, right?
And,
but Danny,
and then he coached Buffalo.
The
Buffalo.
He coached Buffalo. Then he got the job down at Arizona State. He does a good job at Arizona State. But Danny Hurley, he played at Seton Hall, and he didn't have a great college career. He was supposed to be a great college player also. But it never panned out for him in college, right?
So he was supposed to be better than his brother?
Not better, different player, but he was supposed to be an excellent college player too, and he ended up not being a very good college player. Seton Hall wasn't a very good team. So, but this is Danny Hurley's chance to win his national championship as a coach. And of course, their father is Bob Hurley, who coached St. Anthony's, I think, in Jersey City. He's one of the most famous high school coaches of all time. Right, so
they're like the Van Gundys. They're like the Van Gundy family.
No, they're better than the Van Gundys.
They're better than the Van Gundys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Stan Van Gundy's a better announcer than he ever was a coach.
Yeah,
and at least Danny and Bobby look like they play basketball. Like Stan and Jeff, they don't even look like they ever. I mean, Stan Van Gundy looks like he never stepped on a basketball court in his life.
Yeah, and Jeff Van Gundy, the only thing I have, it's so funny because he's done so much, the guy, obviously, but the only thing I ever think about when his name comes up is when he was holding on to Patrick Ewing's leg. Wasn't it Ewing's leg in that brawl against Miami? Or
it was Alonzo Mourning's.
Alonzo Mourning was Miami in the Knicks, right? And what was he doing? What was he trying to do?
Well, he was trying to break up the fight, but he ended up sliding all the way down, and he just got the leg.
It's so funny. So, I never, I wanted to ask you, did you listen to, we'll do, so we got our picks here, and I'm going to go against you just a little bit, but I like these picks. I think the games are going to be fantastic, and we'll reconvene. But I wanted to do one final sweaty thought here, because I was thinking, I never heard from Seth Greenberg or Andy Katz's camp about getting together with us and picking the picks, let alone playing 2-on-2 together. And now you brought up something about Hurley and those guys, and they played college hoop. Like, if you had to compare the Hurley brothers' college hoop career to Greenberg, who's better, you think?
Well, Greenberg played at Fairleigh Dickinson, I think, in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So, my guess is the Hurleys were better.
Both of them?
Yeah, my guess is the Hurleys were better. Danny Hurley was still a good player. For sure, he was a good player. And
when he played at Seton Hall, who did he play with? Do you remember? Because they've had some guys at Seton Hall.
Yeah, I don't know when he
What
played. He must have
year?
played 20 years ago. I mean, he looks like he's 55 years old, but he's not that old. I
They
mean,
had some good teams back then, Tommy.
I don't think so. I think he was a disappointment.
But the teams he played on were probably pretty good because the Hall had some good teams back then.
But he was after PJ Carlissimo, I think.
Oh, he was after PJ?
Yeah, I don't think he played for PJ.
And of course, Bobby, had the great career at Duke. So Bobby
won 2 national championships.
Yeah, so Bobby's definitely better than Greenberg, and Danny could hold his own with him too. And KATZ, he never played, so
Yeah, so he played at Seton Hall 1991 to 96. And
PJ left right after that because he was coaching in the pros. We interviewed him when he was coaching the Warriors.
Yeah.
In 98, and he got there, a year before we interviewed him, and then he got choked out.
Poor PJ. He got choked out by Sprewell.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. The guy was such a nice guy.
He's a good guy. Maybe he was kind of abrasive as a coach, though. I mean,
interviewing him was fantastic. Remember, I had someone from New Jersey bought me a pair of boxer shorts that were Seton Hall. They had the logos all over them, repeated logos on the boxer short. And when we interviewed him that day at the Golden State Warriors facility, me and you were busting his chops and and I just pulled my pants down, remember? And I had the Seton Hall boxer underwear on. And he goes, he goes, "You're crazy." He just shook his head. He goes, "You guys are out of control." But he seemed like a nice guy, and he was a good coach. He was a good coach, that guy. All right, so
Danny Hurley played 5 years at Seton Hall. His last 2 years, he averaged 32 minutes and 36 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, what was his scoring average though? He averaged 14 points a game and 14 points a game his last 2 years. He was pretty good. He was a pretty good college player. It just never panned out for him. That's all.
Yeah.
It never worked out for him.
Can you just real quick, and then we'll go look up what Greenberg's stats were when he played hoop?
At Fairleigh Dickinson?
Yeah, see if he's got any stats.
They had to be before stats.
Really? Before stats. Before the roto. Come on, he's got to be in there. He's got to say something about it.
Yeah, he played for Fairleigh Dickinson and he played for Fairleigh Dickinson in the 70s. So he's he's not that much older than us. Right?
Yeah.
They got his coaching record, but they don't have his
They don't got his player stats, huh?
Yeah, they don't have his player stats. Let me see. Full record from Fairleigh Dickinson. Okay, so Fairleigh Dickinson, oh my goodness, he wasn't a very good shooter. He only averaged like 3 points a game.
See, this is good research.
Yeah,
because if we're going to get an opportunity to play him and KATZ,
listen, when Seth Greenberg was a senior at Fairleigh Dickinson, he averaged 3 points a game.
Oh,
he averaged 2.4 personal fouls a game and 3 points a game. He averaged almost as many fouls a game as he did points. Yeah, he didn't
I'm getting even more confident now. I'm even more confident now that me and you could take Greenberg and KATZ because his stats. I mean, 3 points and 2.4 fouls. Like we're not worried about his jumper. I'm not worried about him posting and toasting us. Yeah. I'm not worried about KATZ's ball handling skills or anything. I bet you he's not that great. I mean, me and you pick and roll all day.
I don't think that.
God, I want to play those guys so bad.
They're going to play us, buddy.
I just want to play them. I want to play them too.
That's great. Hey, listen.
Come on, just play us for a charity game.
So listen,
I want them now. Now I want them because he's got 3 points a game, 2.4. I'm talking smack. Now I'm going to start talking smack. I think me and you,
I don't want to smack talk Seth too much because he played at Fairleigh Dickinson. I couldn't have made Fairleigh Dickinson out of high school. I mean, it was an independent college. I don't know if they were Division I, II, or III back then. But he still played 4 years at Fairleigh Dickinson, and they've been in the tournament. I don't think I could have made Fairleigh Dickinson out of high school. So I don't want to badmouth him too much because he played. And then also he did coach that good team at Long Beach with Lucius Harris and Brian Russell. Like they were on his team his senior years. He got that team into the Sweet 16, and they were good players. my big thing with Seth Greenberg is he allegedly or reportedly turned down Seth Curry when he was the coach of Virginia Tech. I don't know if it's true. I heard the story that Del Curry called Seth and said, "Listen, I played at Virginia Tech, and I want my son to play there." And Seth said, "No, we're good. We're good with our guards."
So here's the idea. We can kill two birds with one stone. We play them 2-on-2. We play for charity. They should want to take us on. I mean, we're barely 6 foot, me and you. And we never played in college or whatever, so they could take our YMCA stats and throw them out the window. But what we'll do, it will be for charity, and Seth Curry will be the referee. He'll be the ref for the game, and then we can figure out that whole thing about did what was this true story, and if Del Curry wants to sit there and be our coach, he could be our coach too. We could get all this done in one thing. We could beat those guys. And then we can find out, did he really pass on Steph Curry? Come on. I mean, I don't want to play him.
I love that you want to do all that.
I mean,
Not only do you want to play Seth Greenberg and Andy Katz in 2-on-2, but now you want Steph Curry somehow to be involved. Steph Curry's got to be involved. It's going to have to be in the off season, but I don't know. I mean, Steph Curry goes to that celebrity golf tournament every year in Tahoe. So if you want, maybe you can set it up there in Tahoe somewhere, in the summer when Steph is up there, see if you could get Seth and Andy to come up to Tahoe. It's not a bad place to spend a week in the summer, and maybe we could try it then.
Does he go to that one that my buddy Frank sets up the caddies for? What's it called? Century? Is it called Century something?
I don't know. I mean, it's the one that Charles Barkley goes to, but Steph's up there. He's always Steph's one of the leaders.
I'll ask my buddy Frank. I know it's ambitious. You got to have dreams. You got to have dreams, and I think this is a good idea.
Maybe we could caddy for Steph at that tournament this summer in Tahoe.
Yeah, and then we could talk about that, and then we could challenge. We could have him with us, and then he could say he'll be part of it, and we'll videotape it, and then we'll videotape a challenge to them, and then he said he's along with it, and then we'll go from there. I think this is a good angle for a BLEAV network. Put the two old guys out there, have some confidence in us, and let us play these guys in the charity match, and also we'll get finally an end to this major question. If he passed on the best shooter ever in the world.
I do have to say, that's the crazy. But I do have to say that that Seth Greenberg was a 2-time ACC Coach of the Year. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, right? And he had a winning record at every stop. He was 105-70 at Long Beach State. He was 108-100 at South Florida for the Bulls. Yeah. And then at Virginia Tech, he was 170-123. He just could never get them into the tournament. He only made it to one tournament, with Long Beach. So
really,
but I like Seth. I think Seth's good.
No, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see how that all pans out.
So that's good. So that's our sweaty thought is we're going to get okay, buddy. You're crazy.
Yeah, the final sweaty thoughts, we're going to try to set this up, right?
Yes, that's it. We're going to set it up.
What happened to you? You froze on me.
I'm good here. I'm here.
Where are you? You froze on me. It's okay.
Can you see me?
Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, so let's close up here. Let's close up. That was a fantastic show. Old Men and Sweats, Barry D and Tommy T. Thanks for listening and watching. Please go to all the major platforms, podcasts to listen to us, and go to YouTube to watch us.
Good senior health report, buddy. That's good to update everyone.
Good senior health. And remember, all you people out there, we won't try harder next time.
So don't even ask.
That means you too, Seth Greenberg. Don't even ask. And that's it. Good show, Tommy T. We'll watch those games tomorrow. I'll text you as watching them.
All right.
And maybe we'll throw some tweets out there. I think it's going to be a fantastic day tomorrow for those games.
I'm excited. All right, buddy. You take care, man.
Woo! I still think it's not out of the question that we could get a 2-on-2 going with those guys. For charity. Let's do it for charity. They should beat us. I mean, come on. we probably should get a few points and play up to 10 or 12. It'd be fun too. And if Steph Curry was involved, that'd be even funner. I have a dream. Dreams do come true. Adios, everybody. Have a good Final Four. Old Men and Sweats out.